It was 6:07 p.m. on a Thursday when the alert hit my screen like a quiet explosion. I sat alone in my corner office overlooking the Chicago skyline. The city lights just beginning to flicker on as the weekly sprint summary wrapped up on my monitor. The monitoring script I built years ago flashed urgent red notifications. Unauthorized root-level download attempt on the core project directory. Research archives. Operational histories. Financial projections. Compliance logs. Everything that kept Vertex dynamics running. My breath caught for a second. That familiar cold bloom of instinct rising from the base of my spine. The systems weren't just shared storage. They were the invisible nervous system tying together 4 departments, all hosted and secured under Pinnacle Tech Partners, LLC. My company. I stood up so fast my chair nearly rolled into the desk. Logs showed the user as Lucas Kane, the shiny new VP of Operations who'd been with Vertex only 3 weeks. Timestamped. Flagged. Undeniable. Someone was reaching into the architecture without understanding its depth. Lucas had stormed in like a corporate savior, expensive watch glinting under fluorescent lights. Rapid-fire presentations about driving down vertical costs and rationalizing the cloud stack. Translation. /headcount. Blame old systems. Act shocked when things fractured. I'd seen executives like him cycle through before. They talked abstractions, ignored history, and usually exited quietly after the 4th unexplained outage. But this felt different. He didn't know the folder he touched belonged to me under contract. I didn't panic. I screenshot the logs. Drafted a brief professional email. Heads up, this triggered a security flag on my side. Happy to discuss. Sent it to Lucas and moved on. Silence followed. No reply. No questions. By 6:14 p.m., another alert. Attempted folder renamed to Strategic Ops 2024 Backup LK. He wasn't browsing. He was rebranding. Claiming territory he didn't own. My fingers hovered over the keyboard as memories surfaced. 5 years earlier. Vertex clawed out of a failed product launch. Siloed drives. Expired licenses. Looming regulatory risks. I entered through a side contract as a vendor. Pinnacle offered clean hosted infrastructure without forcing a full rebuild. The master services agreement we negotiated gave my LLC exclusive administrative control, custodianship of operational data, and clear protocols for any changes. It wasn't charity, it was survival for them during crisis. Every Thursday, I ran quiet syncs with product and finance teams. Efficient. Boring to outsiders. No one from Lucas's circle ever joined until now. I archived fresh audit trails, exported root usage history, and closed my laptop. Walking out into the cool evening air, I felt the weight settle. Lucas thought he was cleaning house. He had no clue the folder was a permission vault with escrow backups, compliance mirrors, and redundancy across secured vendors. You don't copy-paste that. You don't rename it without clearance. The worst part? He believed he was clever. The email arrived at 8:22 a.m. The next morning. Subject. Action required. 12 stark words. Send the share drive password and clear your desk. No salutation. No context. Just a blunt order from a man acting like he owned everything. I blinked. Reread it. He thought he could exile me like deleting an old Slack channel. No HR meeting. No discussion. Pure dismissal. That moment crystallized it. Lucas didn't know me. He saw a name on an org chart. Assumed overpaid legacy consultant. He didn't know about the contract clause protecting the infrastructure, my servers, my licenses, my architecture paid for and maintained by Pinnacle. He didn't know attempting unilateral termination without board resolution triggered automatic safeguards. I highlighted the relevant MSA section, copied the reference, and replied calmly, The drive operates under Pinnacle's license and escrow terms. Questions? Consult legal. BCC'd Vertex Legal. Attached the signed clause PDF. And sent. No emotion leaked through. Inside. Tension coiled tight, like watching a fragile glass teeter on the counter's edge. Gravity would handle the rest. Lucas had just accelerated it. By 8:27 a.m., Lucas forwarded my reply to legal with arrogant subject. Please handle. He pawned it off as minor inconvenience, expecting them to strong-arm compliance. At 8:39, legal escalated to the CEO with brutal clarity. You just fired our key vendor. The temperature in the building seemed to drop. I sat motionless in my chair. No gloating, just watchful stillness as the sequence unfolded. The clause had waited 5 years in the MSA shadows. Clause 11C was straightforward. Unilateral termination attempt without board ratification and 30-day supervised transition dissolved all SLAs immediately. No notice period. Updates, logs, backups, support, all suspended. The heartbeat sync flickered yellow on my admin dashboard. Countdown engaged. Lucas severed access to the only person who truly understood the interlocking pieces. I locked the final audit snapshot, auto-tagged, watermarked, unalterable. Then I activated custody mode, user activity frozen. No writes, edits, cloning, or transfers allowed. Read-only shadows remained. Dashboards visible but immutable. Every file now footered, archived under Pinnacle Tech Partners LLC, custody protocol initiated. Let them forward that to the board. Lucas likely didn't grasp SLA meaning, let alone that his email blew their last support bridge. I didn't seek revenge. Compliance spoke louder. By 9:01 a.m., my portal closed. By 9:02, their dashboard sync stopped. By 9:05, Lucas replied to legal. Wait. What? Friday morning brought the first cracks. Product team messaged. Roadmap file down for maintenance. Finance. Q4 projections cells returning errors. Marketing. Social metrics dashboard source folder missing. The infrastructure wasn't a tool, it was a person who left. They pinged me. I no longer answered. Contract severed. By 1:17 p.m., Slack threads exploded, 50-plus comments, tagging long-departed employees, even external drives in desperation. Customer ops posted. Anyone have vendor SOPs for onboarding? 5 clients stalled. By 4:12 p.m., the truth surfaced. We don't have access at all. Irony hit hard. No data loss, everything intact. Timestamped. Escrowed. They just lost custody. Vertex became a tenant evicting the landlord. Then puzzled by changed locks. Systems stayed resilient, humming in Pinnacle's custody protocol. But they depended on credentials, licenses, and maintenance they never truly owned. A junior PM posted in General Channel, "Why does dashboard now say property of Pinnacle Tech Partners? Normal." Message deleted fast, but screenshotted. 4 departments froze out of files they barely realized relied on my weekly invisible work. Like cooking dinner only to discover the stove knobs vanished. Monday's all-hands meeting open tense. Lucas clicked through slides with forced grin. Strategic Infrastructure Realignment Phase 1. No one smiled. Teams had survived 3 days on screenshots, forwarded PDFs. Caffeine-fueled panic. Clients' questions stalled onboarding. Vendors requested unfindable paperwork. Finance tickets went to void. Lucas insisted. Anticipated friction. Part of planned transition. A voice from the back cut dry and cold. You didn't read the termination clause. Legal stood. You severed vendor rights without board clearance. We've lost operational custody. Room stilled. Not just files, legal, technical, financial control evaporated. Lucas squinted. We can reset passwords. Bring in IT. Legal shook her head. Projecting my final invoice. Support services suspended per Section 11C. Custody protocol initiated. SLA suspended. Red stamp. Vendor no longer engaged. End of file 2. File 3, approximate. 1,000 words. Lucas paled. Where did this come from? Legal. Forwarded automatically. Vendor anticipated recklessness. He muttered about resetting. But legal opened the activity tracker. Red flags everywhere. Blocked copy attempts. Failed renames. Dozens timestamped and archived. Embedded vendor protocol. Every manipulation attempt auto-forwards to legal with full trail. Whispers rippled. She built that in. Built all of it. Legal stated flatly. Her infrastructure. Her servers. Her admin keys. Her triggers. You didn't remove a contractor. You fired a licensed vendor mid-contract. Lucas stood silent. Clicker limp. Body language shifted. Colleagues leaned toward legal. Away from him. Screen switched to compliance tracker. Custody protocol active. Pinnacle Tech Partners LLC. Authorized until 2027.
Air changed.
Building exhaled. Aware it lived inside someone else's architecture. No yelling, just surgical end to illusion of ownership. By noon, banner appeared across every dashboard. Access suspended. Consult vendor. Clean sans serif font on gray strip. In Vertex culture, equivalent to cut breaks with casual post-it. Good luck. Pinnacle servers executed escrow protocol on schedule, not anger, but precision. After 72-hour read-only window. Total lockout. They stared at systems they thought owned, wondering who allowed this. Lucas stormed legal wing demanding reinstatement. You can't, came flat reply. You fired license holder. LLC, not obligated. Any reinstatement needs new MSA. Different rates. Board approval. CFO finally spoke. Voice icy. Lucas, did you even know she owned the infrastructure? He admitted softly. No. Room absorbed the slap. 5 years running on scaffolding they never examined. Lucas sliced through bone rushing to trim fat. I wasn't there. 2 states away at a long-postponed spa retreat. No cell service. Hot stones.
Calm.
But the specific silence reached me. No calls. No alerts. Just heavy quiet when people realize no savior comes. I'd written every protocol. Every boundary. Machine now ran without me. That's ownership versus control. Tuesday. Legal dug archives, contracts, amendments, board minutes. No loophole. Infrastructure licensed independently. Crafted in desperate quarter 5 years prior by a careful CTO who locked terms airtight. Custody rights. SLA reversals. Board-only transfer vote. Lucas sprinted into traffic blindfolded, dragging company along. His assistant resigned via one-line exit, not hired to take fall. Replacement consultant arrived Wednesday, polished LinkedIn. Zero context. Tried admin console, denied. Escrow token required. Called legal.
Who called me?
I didn't answer. Root folder held PDF. Access Governance Transition Authorization Protocol. My signature present. Executive line blank by design. Without both. Protocol inert. Systems stayed custody. Infrastructure remained Pinnacle's. Replacement just puzzled bystander. Emails trickled. Quick question on escalation? Hoping to clarify. Schedule reconnect. Dignity skips do-overs. I ignored them. Receipts wait silently. CEO's call came Thursday night at 7:16 p.m. Unlisted number. Recognized area code. I sat on my balcony. Blanket across lap. Untouched wine glass. Curiosity 1. This is Sophia. No pleasantries. We'd like to offer reinstatement. Report directly to me.
No Lucas interference.
Significant retainer. Dotted line exec role. I listened. Situation got out of hand. Lucas aggressive. Aggressive is sales tactic, I replied evenly. This was reckless. He dropped bait. $400,000 annualized. Full freedom to stabilize. Oversee transition to internal control. Running point. Sun dipped behind trees. I exhaled. Clause wasn't trap. Boundary you never expected to hit. Silence stretched. We need resolution. If not you, someone trusted. I already gave what you need, I said. Pinnacle remains license owner. I'll appoint systems custodian for my team, trained,
Calm.
thorough, holds tokens, quarterly refresh, escrow certified, reports to board for compliance, not Lucas, not subordinates.
He didn't argue.
Knew better. Declining chaos, I clarified. Not clarity. I wasn't returning to babysit mess or watch another buzzword executive pretend architecture expertise. I built Vertex bones quietly, no suit, no investor jargon, no shouting for credit. Just perfect silent function until broken. Now rebuild on my terms or none. Lucas's vision shelved in next board review. Chair muttered about rushing change, without foundation. Infrastructure changes frozen pending independent review mine. Assigned custodian excelled, patient, methodical, unrattleable. Systems didn't need me anymore. Needed boundary I created. Guardian to keep it intact. Weeks passed. Storm quieted not by quick fix but adaptation. Departments rewired around access tickets. Lucas faded to background, PowerPoint shell stripped of real control. Dashboards blinked green again. One by one. Syncs hummed. Spreadsheets populated. No announcement. No memo. But everything transformed. Access points now required escrow-verified tokens.
No soft passwords.
Backdoors. Workarounds. Admin rights needed quarterly board sign-off. Passive audit trail on every file open. Infrastructure watched.
Alive.
Footer stamped bold on every login. Infrastructure and data custodianship by Pinnacle Tech Partners LLC, licensed through 2027. No internal override without board ratification. It didn't scream. Existed like steel under paint. 2 months later. CEO keynote industry panel on vendor trust in scaling startups. I watched live stream from home office. Coffee in hand. Cat curled at feet. Polished suit. Rehearsed tone. Question on operational transparency. We had learning experience. Assumed shifting infrastructure without understanding origins. What we called shared drive was licensed environment with legal boundaries baked into code. Learn to respect those. Expensive, but necessary.
Pause.
Almost confession. Sometimes least noisy people hold keys. Room nodded.
Clapped.
I didn't. Never built for noise. Built to last. To work. When violated. Didn't retaliate. Enforced always present boundary quietly. Calmly.
Completely.
Ownership isn't volume or posture. It's permanence. The lock unnoticed until forced. Then door stays closed.
Control silent until tested.
Reflecting now. Question lingers. In rush for quick wins and visible power. How often do we overlook quiet architects holding real foundations? Lucas chased headlines. Ignored contracts. Paid price in chaos and credibility. Vertex learned costly respect for invisible scaffolding. But cost measured installed clients. Lost productivity. Damaged trust. Some boundaries protect everyone. Ignoring them invites collapse, not dramatic explosion, but slow unraveling until silence falls heavy. What would you have done in my chair that Thursday evening? Alert flashing? Would you have seen the clause coming? Or assumed control yours to seize? The systems still run. But now everyone knows who truly holds the architecture. And that knowledge changes everything.